This quick article here is from Annual Reviews. It says here, abstract, Planetesimals to Brown Dwarfs. What is a planet? Annual Review of Earth and Planetary Sciences, Volume 34, pages 193 to 216. The volume publication date for this article was May 2006. It's written by Gabor Basri and Michael E. Brown. Gabor Basri is from the Astronomy Department, University of California, Berkeley, California. And Michael E. Brown was from the Division of Geological and Planetary Science, California Institute of Technology, Pasadena, California. The abstract on this, I'll go ahead and read it out to you. Yeah, print it out. The past 15 years have brought about a revolution in our understanding of our solar system and other planetary systems. During this time, discoveries include the first Kuiper Belt objects, or KBOs, the first brown dwarfs, and the first extrasolar planets. Although discoveries continue apace, they have called into question our previous perspectives on planets both here and elsewhere. The result has been a debate about the meaning of the word planet itself. It is clear that scientists do not have a widely accepted or clear definition of what a planet is, and both scientists and the public are confused, and sometimes annoyed, by its use in various contexts. Because planet is a very widely used term, it seems worth the attempt to resolve this problem. In this essay, we try to cover all the issues that have come to the fore and bring clarity, if not resolution, to the debate. This article, if you click on it, obviously there's a paywall, $32, and you get the article. But being that it's 9 years old and incredibly out of date, I'll go ahead and save my readers $32. What do you say? To resolve the issue, it's quite easy. The star cools, collapses, and becomes what's called the planet, meaning all the objects are one stage or another of planetary or stellar evolution, whichever way you want to say it. They have the same objects, only different ages and different stages. Some are really hot, young, and bright. Scientists call those stars. Some are middle-aged. Those are gas giants and brown dwarfs. And some are rocky worlds covered with water. Those are the black dwarfs and various other very ancient stars. On that note, I also went up to Wikipedia and I typed in Planemo. This is a new word they invented. A planetary mass object, PMO, or Planemo, or planetary body, is a celestial object with a mass that falls within the range of the definition of planet, massive enough to achieve hydrostatic equilibrium, meaning to be rounded by its own gravity, but is not enough to sustain core fusion like a star. By definition, all planets are planetary mass objects, but the purpose of this term is to refer to objects that do not conform to typical expectations for a planet. These include dwarf planets, which are rounded by their own gravity, but not massive enough to clear their own orbit, the larger moons, and free-floating planemos, which may have been ejected from a system, which are called rogue planets, or formed through cloud collapse rather than accretion, sometimes called sub-brown dwarfs. Few issues here. Planemo never needed to be invented. The reason why they needed to invent the word Planemo is strictly because the failed fusion model of stars. They invented the fusion model of stars and said the really big, hot, and bright ones are fusion-powered, and everything else that's smaller, cooler, and doesn't have very strong visible spectrum is a planet. That's basically what their real definition amounted to. But since the fusion model was pseudoscience to begin with, they're forced to keep the fusion model, and now all of their models and ways of doing things are just built off of a shady or a really weak foundation, I should say. But, you know, they're going to just keep on chugging through, and they're not going to actually correct the issues or the assumptions because, you know, it would be too much for them to correct the main root assumptions. As well, at the end of this statement, it says, or formed through cloud collapse rather than accretion. In the theory of stellar metamorphosis, a cloud collapses, which is the star. It's a collapsing cloud of plasma, and it also accretes the material in the center, forming the planet. So cloud collapse and accretion both happen. So to say they're two separate processes altogether, I mean, sure, they're separate in a contextual way, but they both happen inside the star as it evolves and forms the planet in its interior. So there's a huge mistake they make there. See here, I guess I won't go over this. But basically, you really get the point. I guess the real issue sprung up in 2006 when they started discovering exoplanets doing weird things. And their definition of planet went right out the window because it was centered around the solar system objects. But since the objects in the solar system are turning out to be quite unique, and other solar systems around the galaxy don't exactly behave in the way ours does, then they're going to have huge issues. They still don't have a definition for exoplanet yet, because the definition they invented only applies to the solar system. So I guess that's what stellar metamorphosis is, what I'm trying to use it for, is just to clarify the sciences. It's the biggest reason why, one of the big reasons why I decided to get the word out there. Today is October 6th, 2015. If anybody has any comments on this, feel free to comment below. And I'll go ahead and link that little thing to the page if you want to read it and spend $32.